I just existed. You know what I mean? So that's how I live. But
But it's still the big 22 for sure. So
it's
it'll
true,
definitely
man.
special.
What's that Taylor Swift song? I don't know. I'll listen
Season
to Taylor Swift. It was
22.
all good. But how is Miami, man? What's good with you?
Miami's been pretty good. My roommates are currently on vacation, so I've only seen them for like a very brief period of time. I had orientation last Thursday and Friday, which was kind of cool because I had to meet some people. And it's crazy because they're like all different age ranges. Like some people are like 35 and have like kids. And then some people are like 22 and just like fresh out of like undergrad. So it was nice. But one of my boys from Tampa visited me this weekend, so we had just had a good time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Wait, how far is Tampa from Miami?
It's 3 hours.
Oh man, dude, Florida's big. All right, so I did mention Brittney Griner, right? What is your opinion on the situation? Like, what do you think the U.S. should do? That's like so political for this podcast, but at the same time, I'm like curious.
I mean, so Russia's proposal was that they'll give the US back Brittney Griner if they got like an international like arms dealer or something.
Dude, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Now that you just said that, dude, what three team trade, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I sympathize with Brittney Griner. I mean, like the crime she committed does not like is not equivalent to like the sentence she's serving. But at the same time, like if you go to a country, you have to respect their laws and like what their like rules
For sure.
are, because not every country is going to be like that, like like forgiving or like
Yeah.
free as the
But
state.
I will say that them having Brittney Griner like right now is like the way that they're basically like they captured her and they put her in prison there for literally the maximum years you can get for her crime was 10
Yeah,
years and she got 9 years,
yeah,
right? Which is absurd. That right away shows that there is something more than just, oh, she smoked some cannabis. It's literally like
it wasn't even marijuana. It was like
it was,
CBD, right?
I mean, like probably like like a dab pen or something, like
Yeah,
probably some shit like that. But at the same time, there's way more to it than, oh, you just broke our laws and we're gonna penalize you for it. They gave her the legitimate max sentence, right? For something that's
max contract.
hey, let's go. Maybe she's getting paid more there than she is in the WNBA.
Bro, Ben Simmons is under a lot of shit right now.
Oh,
So
for real?
apparently his fiance kind of like broke up with him, like ended their like
Yeah,
engagement.
fiance.
He had a fiance. Her name was like Maya something. And then she just went on this like rapper's like private jet to Europe right after that.
Dude, she's for the streets.
I mean, it's Ben Simmons. I don't think he was that loyal either, but still, that's kind of crazy. And then the Nets like also kind of like said that they don't really see like a formidable like future with Ben Simmons. So both the Nets left him and his girlfriend or his fiance left him. So he's probably under some heat right now.
He deserves it.
Yeah. He's a crybaby.
Dude, it's like Ben fucking Simmons, dude. Ben Simmons deserves like his first like 4 years of his career. He was way too overrated when he was literally softer than Charmin. Like, dude, yeah, you know what I mean? He's a fucking sponge that just doesn't absorb anything because he never figured out how to have a jump shot. So that's fine, right? But overall, like he has been handed everything throughout his entire career. You know what his GPA was when he was in college? Guess.
Where do you, oh, at LSU?
Yeah.
Uh, 2.7.
It was a 1.9. This is recorded evidence. I'm not saying okay, I'm not like trying to compare grades here, right? But okay, GPA is not like it's not a measure of like how smart you are. It's literally a measure of how hard you work. And this dude literally did nothing at LSU. Okay, JaVale McGee had a 4.0. Fun fact.
That's crazy.
I know, man. He's smart.
I mean, like, despite all that, dude, he has made more money these past couple of years that I could even think of, dream of. So like, I don't really care what you
Dude, but I'm like, dude, we like that's what I don't like about the NBA too. Like, what do you think about like just guaranteed contracts? Like, that's just kind of dumb, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with so many NBA players today, where they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna request a fucking trade,"
Yeah.
and then they just sit out. And look, I commend, to be honest with you, Harden. Like, I feel like he had no future in Houston, and so like I understand why he sat out, and he sat out for like maybe a month, right? Anthony Davis sat out for a long time. That's different. Ben Simmons like he had two roads. He could have been like, all right, I'm gonna take the fucking blame for what I did, and I could have worked. Now he's here just fucking up everything, right? And
Exactly.
yeah, he's gonna be the franchise player of the Nets. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I don't know. Dude, I'm like, so for me right now, the Nets are in a very like very hot spot just because I just don't know like what the future of like their two star players is because like we've been hearing about like the KD trade packages for a while. Like I know Boston's like has the best odds right now, but teams like Miami, even Philly now, Toronto, they're all in the mix. But like nothing has happened yet. And Kyrie signed an extension, but like I don't know if he wants to stay if KD leaves. That's the thing.
That's true. I mean, I feel like he has more of a personal connection to the Nets, and then KD kind of just came there.
Yeah.
You know,
He's from New York, right? Kyrie.
he's from the NJ actually, but because he's from NJ,
Yeah.
like he kind of has a bigger connection to the Nets specifically because the Nets were in NJ when he was there. But I think that he does kind of want to be more of a New York person,
Yeah.
which is weird because I'm like, why would you say I hate the media and whatever, and then go to a place where the media lives?
Yeah, like media is like the most prevalent like thing there.
Like, okay, I'm gonna tell you a quote real quick, right? So, like from the Last Dance documentary, Dennis Rodman says, "Yeah, I would play the game for free, but I get paid for all the bullshit."
Yeah.
Right. So, what do you think about like basketball players being like, "All right, I'm not going to talk to the media, and I'm gonna hide from the public because I just want to play basketball."
I think it's kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie. Like, let me talk about some more like prominent careers, like like doctors, like lawyers, engineers. They have to deal with all that bullshit too. Maybe at like a lower scale, but that scale is very like parallel to how much they're making. Like doctors have like I feel like one of the most stressful like things. Like
Right. You can't just play basketball and then pretend like you don't exist, right? Kawhi somehow did it for years, right? But that's just because he's Kawhi. Like, you know what I mean? But there's so many people that really put their lives on the line like all the time. And then for a basketball player to say, you guys are being unfair to me, I'm like, you are literally entertainment. You are entertainment.
that's all the NBA is entertainment.
It
That's
is
why they make all the
entertainment. I'm
money.
like, yeah, like, there's a lot of people who play really good basketball. There's street ballers who are really fun to watch sometimes,
Yeah.
right? And they're not going to get the same recognition as you do because you are on the ultimate stage.
Highest, yeah,
Yeah,
stage.
and the best basketball players are those who play really great basketball, but will always have that great legacy because of what they're known to say, right? And obviously, like no matter who you are, you're going to be demonized at some point, but that's part of the game, right?
Exactly.
That is like if you're a public figure, you will be hated by some, you will be loved by others, and that's something that they have to get around. Some people are just more loved than others, right?
And I agree with what you said. The only area where I sympathize with like NBA players are like I feel like any athletes playing at the national level is just the amount of privacy they get. Like I understand like you like the fame, but if you now don't have that privacy to yourself where you can just go out to public, it's like a grocery store, like a restaurant, or like wherever, and just like not have people taking pictures of you or like trying to like get autographs. Like I feel like it's very annoying in a sense.
We see this with like other celebrities too, like not just basketball players, with like hip hop artists, other artists, where like I feel the reason they got into the field that they got into was because they wanted to be really good at their art, right? Or like whatever they do. And like you can think of Derrick Rose, for example, where there's a little documentary called like it's called Pooh, like that's his like nickname. But in that documentary, he's like, all I ever wanted to do was just play basketball, and then I didn't really know what to do after that, right? The after that part was all right, he was really good at basketball, he was really good at jumping, right? And he was phenomenal, youngest MVP ever. But
Yeah.
then when the media came into play, how he was going to handle his money, all those extra things that come along with being a sort of at the center of everything, right?
Yeah.
He just didn't know how to figure that out. Another person I can think that's really similar to that in hip hop, right? And you might disagree with me on
J.
this.
Cole, J. Cole.
No, J. Cole handles everything really well, but I'm talking about Kanye as someone that really started out just wanting to sort of create his own art form, right?
Yeah.
He was a producer, right? Moved into becoming a lyricist. And then, his album Graduation dropped fantastic, right? Probably one of the best rap albums ever, right? And um once the fame really started to hit him, right? He started getting involved with like the whole Kim Kardashian thing and like right, he was
Actually, there's actually more to that story. So obviously like, the fame thing is big, but his downturn really started was when his mother died, and that really messed him up. That was like the initial start of like his BPD disorder, or like yeah, BPD. How he like kind of just like became very vocal about whatever he was feeling, and kind of like remember like when Pete Davidson like just started dating like Kim Kardashian, like he was like spamming like death threats to Pete. He was posting like the weirdest things on like Instagram. So like I feel like when you have fame at that level, because Kanye's level is crazy, bro. He has a fucking cult. And if you're not like in the best mental state, you will take advantage of that external attention you're getting.
yeah, I to be honest with you, that's a really good comment that you made. Sort of taking advantage of your surroundings as someone that's a really popular hip hop artist, but really deep down having those mental health issues that you're dealing with, right? And yeah, I mean that's something I didn't even consider. You know, his mother dying, and
Yeah.
he was really close with his mother, which is
Oh yeah,
actually
for
crazy.
sure.
Like, I'm not sure. People give a lot of criticism to his 3-part documentary that's on Netflix. Have you watched it at all?
I haven't seen
You
it.
haven't, yeah. I've only seen like the first episode and then half of the second episode, right? But you just see how close he is with his mother, and he loses his entire support system because he doesn't have a father, right? And so
Yeah.
he basically his entire support system falls apart, and now he has to rely on everything else. And I'm like, Kim's not really a support system. Well, she wasn't a support system.
I don't think you're
She's not
really
really
like
supporting anything, but someone's nuts, obviously. But what's sad about the whole thing is if you really started, because I started following Kanye like super late, right? And I was like, when I followed him, like started like knowing who he was, and his, I always thought he was a crazy motherfucker. When you really go back and see the kind of artist he started out as, right? You
yeah.
see the story of him and what's that actor, Jamie Foxx? Uh,
Jamie Foxx. Yeah.
yeah, basically, the first song, Jamie Foxx and
Oh,
Kanye.
Gold Digger, Gold Digger.
It wasn't was Jamie Foxx in Gold Digger? You're
Yeah,
shitting me.
bro. He was like the beginning. He's like,
Oh
she
my
take my
god.
money. That
No,
was
there's
Jamie
this
Foxx.
one
Yeah.
song where he was like, I forget what the name of the song is. I know my favorite lyric from the song though, that the original Jamie Foxx and Kanye West song was it was like, I met a light skinned girl look like Michael Jackson. Meet a dark skinned girl look like Michael Jackson. I heard that and I was like, damn, that's hilarious, right?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And that was their first song. But he was basically talking about how Kanye was so like, this is gonna sound like I am Kanye talking about Kanye, but basically he was so ahead of his time, right?
Yeah.
That Jamie Foxx was trying to do like R&B shit, like when you try to like sing in like a certain pitch and whatever. Right? I don't know if you listen to R&B stuff, but like basically, you singing a certain melody to it, and then Kanye was like, just don't do that. Like sing it really short. This is hip hop. This isn't
Yeah.
R&B, right? And Jamie Foxx like, what the fuck you're making me do? And comes back literally like years later, right? A year later, listens to the song, and he's like, wait, I literally made this song, and it's like top of the Billboard.
Yeah.
Because Kanye West just predicted that because he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Kyrie is kind of similar.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll be honest with you, like, when it comes to like, just, like men like dealing with shit, like majority we just kind of keep it inside because we really don't want to be expressive about how we're feeling.
Fuck that. I think that like men have this stigma, right? That basically,
Yeah.
we don't deal with things at all,
Yeah.
right? And that's like not true. I actually, the more that I've talked to people my own age, the more I've realized that like we as a gender, right, are sort of programmed to pretend like nothing happens to us,
Yeah.
right? That we're not supposed to like feel certain things. I'm not saying that like men should go around just being bitches, right? Like that's like I'm not saying that like that's what we should do. Like I do think that like to a degree,
Yeah.
right? We have to, it's fine to like, not just go around like being soft all the time. But at
Yeah.
the same time, when you are dealing with things, that we should normalize men talking to other men
Yeah.
about what we're going through, right?
75% of all suicides are men, which I think is absolutely insane. And
Yeah.
there was actually a quote that was about that, and it said that I would rather hear about your story than visit your funeral or something like that.
Yes,
And
actually, I was gonna bring that up right away. Like
yeah,
Patty Pimblett, right? Does he
yeah,
do
yeah,
his
yeah,
UFC or MMA, right? I forget.
yeah, yeah.
But I've been watching a lot of videos about him because he sounds really funny. I think he's from Scotland.
I think
But
Ireland. I could be
is he
wrong
from
though.
Ireland? I don't know. He's from one or the other. And one of the things he recently did, he actually teabagged a guy that he beat, like knocked out right before he said this. But he was basically like a week ago, like one of his friends killed
Yeah,
themselves, right? And he
I
was
think it's our IG story on this. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And he was like, I'd much rather have that friend come up to me and say, like, I'm going through something, crying my shoulder, than going to his funeral next week. We all go through really similar things, right? Really similar things. It's just that men don't report this stuff,
yeah,
which I think is really sad. And so, yeah, I think to a degree, like some people, like I think when we look at NBA players, right, like guys like DeMar DeRozan and Kevin Love, who have reportedly gone through their own
yeah.
living.
I think even Jalen Brown talked about like anxiety for
He
like,
does.
yeah, yeah,
And but especially like DeRozan and Kevin Love, who have been really outward about like what they've been going through, especially DeMar, talking about his experience already having depression growing up in LA and then suddenly being in like no, LA, what did I say? Being in Toronto, right? Just completely in a different country, in a completely different region of the world, without any of his family members who supported him through the whole thing, and sort of how he had to get through that like mental battle of just being in a completely different place while also playing a really high level of basketball.
yeah.
And it was really touching to hear that story, because we know that like even people that have achieved like some of the highest level of success like ever, right, have experienced those sort of issues.
Yeah.
When it comes to people like Kyrie, like I do feel like he doesn't necessarily express himself in the right way. I don't know.
His mom also passed away too, so that's
Uh,
definitely yeah.
like someone else though, like that really talked about that too, was just talking to each other. Marcus Smart, his mom died in the middle of the 2018 basketball season, or
Yeah.
27, one or the other, right? And this was when it was Kyrie's like first year on the team, and Smart always talks about how like I didn't know how to deal with it. It was a really rough time for him, and basically Kyrie was there for him when no one else really was, because he understood what he was going through, right?
Exactly.
At this point in his life, sort of losing someone like your mother, I couldn't imagine it, right? My mother is the most influential person in my life, right?
Absolutely.
Uh,
I agree with that for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, and to lose someone that means like that much to you, that you sort of grew up and said, all right, like everything I do, to some degree, it's because of what you did for me, right?
Yeah.
To lose that kind of person in your life, Kyrie was there for him. I just feel like Kyrie doesn't express that well, which is really sad. I've actually, over the past few weeks, I know we've discussed this a little bit. I've become like a big Kyrie fan. And as a Celtics fan, it's kind of like,
Is there like a reason for that? Like why?
I mean, I think part of it's obviously because you take away a lot of how he talks, and he's obviously a fantastic basketball player. He's just beautiful. His skills are just like amazing, right? It's just art at its finest. It doesn't make sense how well he does. But then the other things he's done for his community during the pandemic, and sort of his like his philanthropic mindset is just insane. He actually kept up the entire salaries of every WNBA player during the pandemic, uh,
Wow, I didn't know
which is crazy. He bought like food for millions during the pandemic in his community in New Jersey. But we don't talk about that. We talk about how he isn't vaccinated. That somehow defines him more than the amount of people he's helped, right? And he doesn't talk about those things. Somehow we always think we always find himself in a position, like we always find him in a position where he's defending himself, instead of taking credit for the great things that he's done for people, right?
Yeah.
And the great thing he's done for individual basketball players like Marcus Smart and others who have lost their mothers. And yeah, he doesn't express himself in a weird, like he kind of does weird things sometimes, and he's left places unceremoniously, but at the same time, like he has done so much for his community, in the NBA and whatever, and to take sort of discredit all of that because of recent activity, is
I think the media like does those activities purposely because if they go out and like publish an article or like talk about how this guy did so much good for his community, he helped out, like it's definitely a good thing, but like majority of people are not going to care that much. Like okay, like he's rich, he helped out, whatever. But if they're like, okay, like he doesn't want to get vaxxed, he's like an anti-vaxxer, like that will really like push people to be like, oh my God, this is so fucking stupid. Like you have one job, just play basketball, stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
feel like that's done for a reason, and they have like a whole agenda behind like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that too. Like it's just kind of sad because I feel like the idea that you're just a basketball player, just stick to basketball. I'm like that completely negates also what the media is saying where they're
Yeah.
like, oh, you're not going to the press conferences, right?
Yeah.
So you're not doing your job as a basketball player. So basically, no, there's that thing that Derrick Rose kept.
Contradicting each other. Yeah.
Yeah, there was that thing that Derrick Rose kept saying when he was sort of dealing with his injuries and being like, I don't know if I should play or shouldn't play because basically if he did play, like the media would be like, oh, he sucks and he's letting his team down and he came back too early. But then if he doesn't play, they'll be like, you're not playing, even though you're technically healthy and whatever, even though you should come back when you're ready. And he's basically damned if I do, damned if I don't. Right. And that's really how some of these players are. It's like damned if I do, damned if I don't. Where we don't really know, like there's nothing that a player can do that's gonna make them seem completely like immortalized in the media, right? The only player that you can really say that for is like Steph Curry because he does everything they ask him to. He's really good at basketball. He's a really nice guy. He does philanthropic things. He shoots the ball really well. He wins championships. So
I
what are
mean,
they?
he was like hated a lot from the like right after, like when Katie joined to like when
Oh
Katie
yeah.
left. Yeah.
Well, like right now, I can't really say that, but yeah, absolutely. Just like you said, that literally someone that's been perfect in the NBA, right? He's been perfect, right? Like who else can you really think of who's been that perfect since they come into the NBA?
MJ.
Exactly, man. You literally said Michael fucking Jordan.
Well, I mean, like I can't really say LeBron because he lost so many finals. And
Yeah,
he was
because you
like,
can't say because even
scrutinized for
LeBron,
that.
as perfect as he's been as a
Yeah.
basketball player, switched teams, like went to Miami, even though he needed to, because the
Yeah.
Cavs, like the second best player is
Jack
fucking
shit. Yeah.
Delonte West, who's like on the streets right now, respectfully.
Oh wait, I can think of another player. I can think of another player. Patrick McCaw, 3 years, 3 championships.
Patrick McCaw, the GOAT, man. The Warriors.
As soon as he joined the Raptors, I knew they were gonna win, bro. I was like, he's not gonna let that go. He's not gonna let that go.
Yeah, literally Kawhi shoots the shot. It's like bouncing there, like Patrick McCaw play.
Please,
Patrick.
Help us win.
I need you. I need you, son. I need you. And he made that shit work. It's fucking wild. But like, yeah, man. Like I absolutely like. It's like you can't, dude. And like we love LeBron. Like I know you love LeBron.
Yeah.
You meet Ryan, that motherfucker. But
Fuck up.
but like honestly, like
Yeah.
LeBron has done everything right
Yeah.
every single time. Like he's really done everything right. People find reasons to hate this man. I'm like, he's been a great father. He's been a great leader. He's played fantastic basketball for a record number of years, broken so many records. He will pass Kareem on the all-time. Yeah, like
he needs to average like 18 points like next season to pass him.
Well, and in my opinion and your opinion, he's the greatest of all time basketball player.
Yeah,
and you'll still have motherfuckers like Skip Bayless acting retarded, like you know what I mean?
I feel like Skip Bayless like low-key loves him, bro. Like he's in love.
His wife literally said like I love him, like I would meet him, and Skip Bayless just like shut the interview off. Oh, that's the other thing. LeBron James, up until this point, has literally not mentioned Skip Bayless once.
I don't think he ever will.
The GOAT, dude. The absolute greatest of all time.
Dude, that's just an obsession, bro. Like I heard this weird statistic that said that like Skip Bayless has mentioned LeBron more in the past 3 years than like ESPN, Sports Center, and something else combined. Just crazy to think about.
Skip Bayless's entire sort of thing, right? Some people are more subtle about it. Skip Bayless is like very like upright with how he like presents very controversial things. But it's all the same stuff, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like if you want to like, get into podcasting or like have some sort of like interview, like business or like whatever, like talk about whether it be sports, entertainment, like or social issues, you have to like play like say the right things, but also play devil's advocate. Because if you only say the right things, like people be like, okay, like cool, like this is like pretty basic. But if you say something out of line, they'll be like, what the fuck? And that's where majority of the traffic comes in. Because people are more likely to disagree with your like opinions and like agree with them.
But yeah, we're speaking about commentators. Who are your top three ESPN commentators?
That's good. Like, are we talking from the halftime show or just like any of them?
Everything, man. Everything's free game. We work for ESPN. Actually, not even. Fuck it,
Dude, I
dude.
don't know. I don't know. Like,
Commentator.
okay, top three. Top three. So at number three, I'm gonna put Shaq.
Also, this is what I'll say. It can also be like new media. So it doesn't have new media. Like it can be like people that like you could say fucking Draymond Green, dude. Like,
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that.
I mean, you don't have to, but you could.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna just because you said that, I'm gonna say JJ Redick's podcast is definitely I have to put that up there. I would say fuck dude, Mike Breen, bro. Mike Breen's crazy. Crazy, dude.
Oh,
Crazy.
I was thinking more like because Mike Breen is more of an announcer.
But he can be considered a commentator too, right?
I mean,
Because he
I don't know,
like
dude. I feel like
analyzes.
I only know Mike Breen for saying one word, and that's bang.
I know, but that's just because it's iconic. But he still talks about the game
Okay,
as
fine. All right, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
was like, I take it. Mike Breen and I'm supposed to say Shaq. Why not? Say Shaq.
It's a Shaq.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Who are yours?
So I'll say JJ Redick first. I think JJ Redick just does a great. Like, I've never looked at someone that just talks about basketball. And I'm like, dude, you just make 100% sense, and you don't even.
Wait, could like LeBron be considered in this because he has the whole like shop thing, the shop?
It doesn't count because he doesn't necessarily go on to like. I feel like the reason I actually didn't mean JJ Redick podcast. I meant more so like people that have been on like First Take and shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of contradictory, but JJ Redick has had conversations with some of these commentators, right?
Yeah.
Who like he's had conversations with Nick Wright, he's had conversations with Stephen A. Smith, and so like it kind of makes sense. So I'm gonna say JJ Redick, CJ McCollum is number two, and then number three.
This is CJ McCollum.
Yeah, I said CJ McCollum. I like CJ McCollum a lot, dude. CJ McCollum might be like
Do you remember I'm trying Jennifer? Do you remember that?
No, what?
Do you remember that?
No,
So like there was this girl lady in like Jennifer, and she commented on one of his posts saying that like you don't win any fucking series, you don't win any playoff games, like whatever. And then she was like, I'm trying Jennifer.
Trying Jennifer.
It's so funny.
I actually do know that.
Yeah.
That's facts, dude. I feel so bad for him. He's such a good. He's like a very. First of all, he's a very underrated basketball player.
Yeah.
Extremely underrated.
He actually just got married too.
I know he
congrats
did.
to him.
To a dentist. That too. A Columbia trained dentist. Fun fact.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Columbia
Yeah.
University trained dentist. So she's a very smart gal, right?
Yeah.
He himself is a very intelligent man. Graduated with a degree in journalism from the university, from Lehigh University, right?
That's right.
Brought them to their first NCAA tournament ever.
Yeah.
That's another good point, right? Mid-major school.
And he was playing varsity basketball in like sixth grade or something.
Dude, he had a very underrated career in basketball. Got traded to the Pelicans, had a string of 35 plus point per game scores, brought them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he's like never had an all-star appearance, which is crazy. It's because he's in the West. If he was in the East, he would have had an all-star.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
He would have. Like if Darius Garland can get it.
Actually,
okay, what do you think of like all the comments on our YouTube videos and TikTok videos of people saying Darius Garland better than other people? That was Darius Garland was better than Trae Young. That's fucking haram, dog.
I don't agree with that. I think Darius Garland's a good player, and he has a good ceiling. Depends what he does with it, but Trae Young's so much better right now, for sure.
Crazy, man. Dude, Darius Garland. Oh, I actually haven't said number three yet, so I'm just gonna say that real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Brian Scalabrine.
Oh, is that like the Celtics bias or something?
Yeah. I'm gonna say Brian Scalabrine, dude. He's actually kind of good, and I think he's a really funny guy. So, say Brian Scalabrine. I was about to say Perk, but I was like, Perk's on shrooms, dude. I can't like really with.
Yeah. Actually, he's really underrated for a commentator, Matt Barnes. He has some good insights.
Have you seen the one where it's like he's high during it?
I mean, that's the whole show. You just smoke weed and talk about basketball. That's all it is.
Dude, man, that's fucking wild. But yeah, okay. But those are my three. I'm gonna say JJ Redick, CJ McCollum, and then Brian Scalabrine. I really want to be Brian Scalabrine. Brian Scalabrine, ever watch this podcast, dog? Please 1v1 me. I want you to wreck me. I don't even care. You are the white mamba. You are my dog.
Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. So we'll probably keep it remote because we're in different locations for
We're
like
definitely doing remote.
yeah, for a very long time. But thank you so much for watching. Please follow our Instagram. Please follow our TikTok. We have some cool mixes there. Please follow our YouTube, and we will keep you updated for next episode. Thank you so much.